A Denver woman says she spent top dollar to remodel her kitchen only for it to look worse than it did before.
So sick and tired of waiting for this to be fixed, she called Contact7 to see if we would do any better with this contractor. Denver 7's Jason Grenauer has a story from Green Valley Ranch.
If your home is your castle, Mamie Lawson has some royal problems.
They're not quite right.
In October, she paid for a kitchen remodel, cabinets and countertops.
I paid him $6,800.
To jazzy painting, decks, and drywall. 5 months later, this is what she has.
This is different than this. They're not level.
So there's supposed to be a door there.
Yes. Wires that scare me. Kind of damaged a little bit just trying to open it.
Unsatisfied with the work.
As you can see, it's uneven. Look at that.
Unhappy with the debris left behind in her backyard. Upset that the job will likely cost her even more money.
The quality is so poor. In order to have them work properly, I'll probably have to have them torn out and redone. That's what I'm being told by contractors.
She called Contact7. We called the contractor.
She's upset because this is taking a little longer than normal, a little longer than usual to get done because we had to change out several cabinets.
He admitted more work and adjustments still needed to be done, though it had been 2 weeks since anyone was on site. But an offer was made to try to make things right, including a partial refund.
If she would allow me to have my guy come back in there, she could give us a couple of days, everything would be finished.
Mamie didn't jump at the idea.
I would consider that if that were the truth, but from my experience with him, he's not telling the truth. He's just going to waste some more of my time.
We searched both Aurora and Denver's database and couldn't find any contractor's license for jazzy paint.
I just don't want him to do this to anyone else.
Reporting in Green Valley Ranch, I'm Jason Grenauer, Denver 7.
If you ever have anything you want the Contact7 team to investigate, please give us a call or send a text to that number right there on your screen. If you would rather, email us at contact7@thedenverchannel.com, and we will be right back.
Red Mountain Pass, oh boy, it has finally reopened to drivers, capping off 19 days of hard work from road crews. This 20-mile stretch between Silverton and Ouray has been closed since March 3rd because CDOT was out there struggling to clear feet of snow. Drivers are warned that more snow is likely in the coming weeks, and rocks and ice slides are also a possibility as the weather warms.
Well, Mike has a forecast. If whatever you want, he's got some of it in there for you.
I really do in this one. This has got something for everybody. So let's get right to it. We're going to have a stormy night tonight. 53 with thunderstorms around the area at 7 o'clock. 47 with rain at 9 o'clock. Could be some snow mixed in by 11 p.m. Sure it looks like out there. 55 was the high, 33 the low. Dark skies in the Denver area. It's currently 48 downtown, 52 at the airport. Pressure's falling. Winds are out of the south-southeast. You think that's dark? Take a look at this one. That is our current Viero camera looking back toward Fort Collins. And we've a lot of dirt blowing around out here with the gusty winds coming out of those thunderstorms. This is what it looks like over the last couple of hours. Those storms have been building. A lot of thunder and lightning around. Storms just north of Greeley along Highway 85. A mix of thunder and snow above about 7,500 feet. Denver, not so much right now, but we do have a line of storms out to the east of us. There'll be more activity coming in as there's still plenty of energy down to the south of us with a low pressure system that's located near Pueblo. So it's rain and thunderstorms on the plains, heavy wet snow in the mountains. This low moves toward the northeast. Colder air filters in. By midnight, the snow level drops to about 5,500 feet above sea level. And so for the elevations that are above that, it's going to mix in and change over. And by morning, a band of heavy wet snow from southeast Aurora down into Elbert County, mixed from Denver to the north, rain out on the northeast plains. Lows tonight dropping to 32 in Denver, 30 out at Lyman. Not quite as cold up to the north where there's going to be more of that mix of precipitation. By early tomorrow morning, this is the main area that will have the snow. 3 to 6 inches possible over parts of northern Elbert County, 1 to 3 parts of Arapahoe County. Then it's just a rain-snow mix, wet roads off to the north, and snow-covered and slippery early tomorrow in the mountains. By midday, rain showers continue on the plains, snow showers in the mountains. By later in the day, partly cloudy skies expected for much of southeastern Colorado. Still rain to the northeast. The low moves away. There's another one coming in for Sunday. Tomorrow's highs range from 34 at Leadville to 61 down at La Junta, Lamar, Trinidad. 32 tonight, evening thunder, wet snow after midnight. Tomorrow, a mix in the morning and then a few showers in the afternoon, a high of 50. Here comes that next system moving out, mostly clear Sunday morning. Rain and snow developing again Sunday afternoon, but the good news, by Monday, it's sunny and warmer. Something for everyone in this forecast for the 7-day. Tomorrow's 50, Sunday 58 with a few afternoon storms. Warming up to 65 on Monday. Beautiful weather Tuesday and Wednesday, back into the 70s. And then we get back to another chance of some rain showers arriving here by the time we get to Friday of next week.
Looking good. We like it. Thank you, Mike. Should you be allowed to listen in as first responders work an emergency or respond to a crime? Well, free speech advocates argue yes. Access to scanners lets us know if law enforcement is doing its job the right way.
But Denver police say they're not trying to hide anything. They just don't want to give criminals a heads up on their operations. It's why they are encrypting their radio scanners, and that's also why Denver 7's Megan Lopez is going 360.
All 21, busy detail.
Pick up an analog or digital radio, tune the frequency, and you'll hear it.
Vehicles UTL.
Police, fire departments, and others using scanners to communicate.
Flocking in and out of traffic.
For years, these channels have been open for anyone to listen in. But more frequencies are now falling silent as agencies turn to encryption to protect their communications. Police departments say this is a matter of safety and protecting private information. Media and freedom of information advocates say this is a way of controlling journalists, while radio hobbyists say there are other options. For Aurora Police, it's a matter of public and officer safety.
We went to an encrypted radio system in 2016.
But with cell phone apps and websites like Broadcastify and RadioReference.com, anyone with access to the internet can now listen in.
Planned Parenthood shooter actually was listening to the police real time.
And Aurora Police say they've had instances where criminals are using their scanners to try to get an edge on them.
There was a young man in a stolen car, and he had a phone app. And he was listening to our officers approach. We were blocks away from him. And he heard that we were on our way to him. And he just started taking off and driving crazily.
They're also trying to keep some information private.
Juveniles' names, addresses, HIPAA information.
Denver police are also moving toward encryption.
Ultimately, it's a balance between the community safety issues and transparency.
Right now, DPD does have some encrypted tactical channels for SWAT and other sensitive situations.
That's great for officer safety, but nothing in there addresses publicly broadcasting victim, witness, and suspect sensitive information.
So the department is in the process of updating its radio system and encrypting all channels.
Copy.
While big agencies like Denver and Aurora go silent, Steamboat Springs is not.
We have not even started the conversation about encryption.
Chief Corey Christensen says because his department is so small,
I don't think we've encountered some of the issues that the Front Range encounters.
Beyond that, encryption is complicated since numerous agencies all share radio channels, so all of them would have to encrypt together.
Some of these agencies don't yet possess the newer models of radios that make encryption affordable.
He says it's simply not necessary right now. While police departments focus on safety,
these are public airwaves.
For the Colorado Press Association, there are serious freedom of information concerns.
It impedes the ability to do breaking journalism.
So we have 10 scanners on the desk.
Since newsrooms use police scanners to follow breaking news.
Colorado State Patrol, Boulder, South Metro, and West Metro. These are different districts in Denver, Douglas County, and Arapahoe County.
Jill Farshman says that if information starts getting funneled through a public information officer, police departments will pick and choose the stories that put them in the best light.
Our responsibility is not to be friends with public agencies or law enforcement agencies.
Some agencies like Denver and Longmont say they will allow news media to have access to their scanners if they sign an agreement over how they will use the information they hear. But
let's say we print a story that is perceived to be unflattering. Then does our encryption key get removed?
Even with encryption, there are ways for news media to get radio calls through open records requests.
You have to know about it to ask about it.
And there's no guarantee the information will be provided, no time limit for some of those records, and it costs money in some cases for newsrooms that are already cash-strapped.
That's not, to me, a solution to this issue.
Roberts says scanner encryption comes at the expense of the public's right to know.
It's going to be harder for journalists to get information to the public.
I think this is a real overreach by law enforcement.
But not only news media listens to scanners.
If I hear sirens, I like to be able to go over to my scanner, turn it on, and go, what's going on?
W0RDR is mobile for
Amateur radio enthusiasts like Robert Wareham
W0RDR and 0ESQ
have scanners in their cars and homes. He's also a former law enforcement officer and doesn't believe encryption will keep police safer.
I don't buy it. They don't buy it, or they'd all be encrypted today.
Instead, he thinks there should just be a delay on the scanners to keep police tactics secure.
3 minutes is more than enough to take away the immediate benefit.
For Wareham, it's a matter of knowing what's happening in his community.
Are we going to live in an open and transparent government, or are we going to live in a police state?
More and more law enforcement agencies are choosing to encrypt. At the Colorado State Capitol, an effort to block encryption failed last year. This time around, there's a new bill to at least limit encryption. But until there's a law regulating it, it's up to law enforcement agencies to find the balance between safety and transparency.
Copy, 1144.
Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
Okay, we actually have, you won't believe it, folks, there's a tornado warning in effect for Weld County right now near Greeley. I want to show you on the map where we're talking. Let's go ahead and take the radar full so I can manipulate a little bit. And we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground 5 miles west of Eaton. And it is just about stationary, according to the report from the National Weather Service. Now, we have a camera in alt, and I'm going to take a look at this. Maybe we can see it on here. And let me maneuver the camera around just a little bit. Take that full, if you would, please. And let's go with Weather 1 full. And let me move the camera a little bit just to see if we can see this thing at all, because we'd have a pretty good vantage point of it. It's a little rain-wrapped, perhaps. I'm going to spin the camera around. That's the storm we're looking at. And let's just see. We saw a lot of blowing dust out of this storm a little bit ago. So the storm is near Eaton and Lucerne at the moment. The warning is in effect until 6:45 this evening. Again, we're probably looking somewhere right in there. There's very heavy rain falling. I'm going to go back to the radar and just show you what we're looking at again here. Fortunately, relatively lightly populated area, but not too far from some pretty good population. So let's go to the current radar and the warning. I'm going to take the lightning strikes off just so we can see it a little bit better. Is right there around the town of Eaton and over toward Gailton. So if you are in the vicinity of this storm, and there are a lot of new subdivisions going